Hello everyone, it's Carrie at Inky Bee Journals and Ephemera. Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time visiting my channel, hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. So today is not actually a tutorial video. Today is just a general craft along, and it is a scrap busting session, and we are just going to make some random ephemera pieces. I have so many scraps that I have to work on some of this stuff off camera because I would never get through it all in any of these sessions. But I will try to do a scrap busting session with you at least once a month or so. And hopefully, if you are new to paper crafting and you're wondering what to do with all of these scraps that you are generating, because you will generate lots and lots and lots, and they can become overwhelming. So if you're wondering what to do with them, maybe some of these sessions will give you some ideas on what you can do with your scraps. So without further ado, let's get started. So as you know, if you've been following me for a while, you will know that I recently completed a journal called the Shabby Pink Roses journal, and through making that I have generated a lot of scraps, so I thought I would try to work on some of these. I've also been working on another journal which has been making some scraps as well. This other journal I've been working on off camera, and so I've been making some scraps while making this journal as well. So let's get started on some of these. Just move some of them over. So these, I'll just take this off. These are just some scrap pieces which were from the Shabby Pink Roses journal. I have backed them all previously with some coffee dyed paper. So I thought, well, I'll just make some tags out of these. So that's what we're going to do, is make some tags with these. So first of all, I'm just going to corner angle these top parts and then round the corners on the bottom parts, and if I see anything, which I think I can see, that is just slightly overhanging, then I can just cut that off. And we can just work on cutting these. Now I'm going to use the largest option, and I'm just going to cut the corners off these just like that, and I'll do all of them at once, so we're doing a bit of a mass make. And these little pieces are going to fly everywhere, so please do be careful of your eyes. I'll just get rid of all of these little pieces, and we've got the makings of some tags there, so I will ink around those and I will consider whether I put a hole and an eyelet through the top later or not. I might actually go along and use the other little corner rounder on the bottom of each of these, just so that I can take that sharp point off them. And I find if you do this and you want to put them into pockets and things, you might find sometimes that sharp edge might snag or make it a little bit difficult to get into some pockets. So I find taking this point off the bottom can just help things go in a little bit easier. If you're finding that your tags don't want to go in this slot here, it's probably because it's a bit too thick, in which case you might need to find an alternate way to round these corners if you wanted to round them. So that's got those done for now. Rid of all these little bits, and I'll link those up afterwards. Now I have these, and these I have marked as double side tucks. Excuse me. And they're simply just a piece of book page, what started off as a book page, that's been folded over by approximately an inch, maybe an inch and a half or an inch and a quarter or so, and really only the width of these bits here which were also scraps to start with, and then this was a scrap here, and I've just glued these two scraps down to this piece of book page. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my glue, and I'm just going to, and I'm just using art glitter glue. You can use whatever glue you choose, but I would suggest you use a glue that can stick paper together and doesn't have too high of a water content, or any water content if you would prefer not to have any water content at all, just because it will if it's got too much water content in it, it can cause your paper to soak too much and potentially wrinkle, warp, or even maybe tear your project, and you don't want to do that. So I'm just gluing the top and the bottom edge of this narrower flap down, and that gives me a little tuck in here. Now I should have used, ahead of time, I should have thought of this, and I don't think I can do it now actually, even if I take this out. I might be able to get it in there. No, it's probably not going to do it, so I will leave that aside for now. But I could have put a little notch in here, and if this is glued down on 3 sides onto a page, you would have a tuck in here, and you will have a tuck in here. Now, do I want to just leave it like this, or do I want to add a little bit of something else? Well, I have some bits of lace here, so maybe I can find something here that might just look nice along that edge. Excuse me, I'm a little bit croaky today. So there's a little bit of lace I could put along there. Excuse me. One of my croaky days. So this is just a little bit of fabric glue, and I'm just going to run this fabric glue, give it a moment to come down to the nozzle. I'm just going to run a line of this fabric glue down the edge of this narrow piece, Excuse me. And I'm just going to turn it towards me this way. And I'm just going to lay this piece of lace down. And hopefully I have that on the edge all right. Try to get it straight. And I'm just going to use my little silicone spatula. I think these are otherwise known as a little silicone brush. And I'm just going to press that glue down. And then I'm going to take my scissors and I'm just going to cut off that excess. And there is a nice little tuck under there. Just, excuse me, it just highlights that little edge in there. So that is a little tuck. And again, I will go around this with some ink. I might angle these little pieces in the corner here. So I will just use the medium size angle. And there we have it. So that's another piece. So I have a few of these. Now before I forget this time, I am actually going to, while this is not glued down, I'm actually going to turn this upside down and I'm going to punch myself roughly in the middle, a thumb notch there. There we go. And I might put a little bit of lace down this side, or I might put a bit of lace down here. But I will cut an angle here. And then we'll glue this down. Now, if you are new to my channel and you can by chance hear a little bit of a whirring sound in the background of this video, I do apologise. I do have my air conditioner going in the room because we are still in the cold months here in Australia, and I have the air conditioner going and it's quite close to my table. So if you can hear that, I'm sorry, but I hope it's not too distracting for you. So I have some more lace here. We'll see what else we can find. A little bit of this, just as a little bit of something. Or do I put it down this edge? Now that might have been nice there, without that angle. Or maybe I can just leave it. Well, I'll think about that. But basically that's ready to go. If I decide to add to it later, I can add to it later. I will just ink around these edges later. Here's another one, and it's just a little bit shorter, but that's okay. So I will put a thumb notch in here. Not sure that didn't cut through properly, did it? Let's try that again. Right. That's better. Rid of these little pieces. And I'll angle this here. And then I will glue at the top and the bottom here. Hold those down for a moment. Now, I suppose if you wanted to, you could glue these down as a pocket this way, as a double pocket. Or you could put them on the side of your page and have a double pocket that way if you wanted to. So here's another one. So we'll angle these corners. And I'll put a thumb notch in. And then we can glue this down. Okay, and we have one more here. So I will put a thumb notch in. And angle these corners. You could round them if you prefer to round them. And then we can do these. So I hope everybody is doing well. I hope you're enjoying your weekend, or you're about to have your weekend. It's actually Saturday here for me. Okay, so these are ready to be inked around the edges, so I'll do that afterwards. Now, what have I got here? I've written side tuck on here. So now, how long have I made this? It is 7 3/4, which is probably longer than it needs to be, and it's about 1 3/4 wide. Okay. Well, usually I only need them to be about 6, so I might get my small trimmer here and I think I'll cut this back to at least 6. Because that's about all it will need to be. And then there's this little scrap here. I'll find something to do with that because that's still plenty big enough. So then we have this. So if I'm going to use that as a side tuck, I will turn it this way so I can see what I'm doing. I will estimate the center and I will put a thumb notch in there. And then let's see, find something a little nice to go on there. What else have we got? Choices. This is pretty, but I don't think it's long enough. I think this will be plenty long enough. And that looks quite pretty, so we'll use that. So I will use my fabric glue, and I'm just going to I'm going to turn it around this way because it's easier. Bead the glue down the side. And cross a bit. Another bead all the way down, cross, and then I'm just going to do a zigzag with glue in between. And then I'm going to turn this back round, and I'm going to take my lace and just going to place it down like that. I'm just going to press it down with my spatula. And yes, you might see some glue there underneath because it is very thin, but it will dry clear, so it won't be so obvious in time once it's dried. And I will just use my scissors to cut that off. And there we go. There's another one. Now I might just slightly round these corners. Just to give it a little bit more of a finished look. So it's very simple, but it's nice. Alright, so there's another piece. Dear me, I'm having one of those days where I'm knocking everything over. So what else do we have here? It's another scrap. And I obviously have this connected to a piece of cardstock here. So have I written on the back? I have. And I've written side tuck there. Now again, this is quite wide. I somehow don't think it needs to be this long either, and it's not quite as long in the card. So I will just cover the cardstock with this piece and we will trim that down. Okay, so I will get a piece of scrap paper to glue on, and I'll get this piece of card, and I'm just going to use some of my glue stick, and I'm just going to glue all over this piece of card. Okay. Now, bring this in. Place this somewhat in the middle. It's not going to be exact, but it doesn't matter as long as it is covered. And I'm just going to use, underneath all my lace, my trusty bone folder, my ergonomic bone folder, which is great for those of us who have arthritis, because it's a little less harsh on your hands and your wrists. And if you are interested, I will link this in the description box below for you. It actually comes in a set of 4, so you get a variety of bone folders together. So the next thing I'll do is I will just cut around with a pair of scissors. So I'm just placing it down on this, the decorative piece down on this piece of cardstock, simply because it just makes it a little bit thicker, so that when it's added to a journal as a side tuck, it's just a little bit more rigid and therefore a little bit more durable when you're putting things in and out of the tuck. Get rid of these scraps. Now, again, I think this is going to be too long. Let's see. This is almost 8, the slightest, you might as well say 8 inches wide and 2 1/4. Sorry, 8 long and 2 1/4 wide. So once again, I'm going to cut this down because it doesn't need to be that long. And I'm going to cut this down to about 6. And again, I've got another scrap here and I will do something with that later. So I will put another thumb notch, and I will round these corners just a little bit. And I might see if I can find a little bit of something to go down this side. Yeah, this is not even straight, is it? Okay, we might not use this piece. How does this look? Not quite right. So a little bit narrow. It's a little bit wide. It's a slight, like a light lavender grey, and I don't mind it, so we might just go with that. And we'll just run a bit of glue down the side. Dear. Okay, and we'll just put this bit of lace down the side there, and just use my spatula to help press that down. Like that, and then use my scissors to cut off the excess. Right, and I will ink around that after. And this, I think, is meant to be a pocket. Yes. So we will quickly do this one, and then I might leave it for then. Because I need to get on and get some other things done today. So I will glue this down to this piece. So I'll bring in my glue paper. And I will roughly mark this. And that will just tell me how long I need, how much of this paper that I need to glue. And even though I'm over the line just a little bit, that doesn't matter. Because if I end up with gummy scissors, I will just clean them. And if you're wondering what you can use to clean your gummy scissors with, well, I have for many years now just used a little piece of cotton swab, like the little round or square pieces that you get for your makeup, and that's all I have used, with a little bit of eucalyptus oil. Okay, so I will just cut the excess off. Once again, that is a scrap that can be used. So I'll put that aside. I will cut this down. And I will hang on to that because I don't know if I might use it. And there is the beginnings of a pocket. So I will put a thumb notch in here. And then I can ink around the edges and put that down somewhere. I may actually just grab one of these maybe a little bit of this. This is like a jute twine, and I might just put a little bit of this down. Maybe a bit of this one. This is quite pretty. Maybe just a little bit of that across the bottom. All right. I'll probably need more than that. It's wider than I was thinking. And I'll just put this down. Just gives it a little bit of something. And I might just put another little bit of glue under here. Just to help that stay down. Okay. So then we can cut the excess off. And there we have a pocket. So we'll leave it there for now, and I'll clean up my mess, and yeah, I will ink around these pieces, and then we've got some of, or at least I have some of these scraps busted for now. I add a little bit more to them. I may not, but there is a start. So next time we will work on some more of these pieces that I have to work on. And yeah, I hope you found some ideas for some of your scraps. So if you liked this video, please consider giving me a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell so that next time I upload a video, YouTube can send you a notification. So until next time, thank you so much for watching. Please stay safe out there, and I'll see you next time. Bye.